on to our AEW Revolution predictions. So we got some predictions coming for AEW Revolution. Be mindful, it's this Sunday. We're doing a space, 316 space. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. I'll be sure to drop the link somewhere in the description. But we are going to go from the bottom of the card to the top because this looks like a very, very stacked card. So first match, we got Ricky Starks versus Chris Jericho with the Jericho Appreciation Society banned from ringside. Who do you have?
I'm always gonna be Team Ricky, like regardless. I mean, Chris Jericho's in a position to where he can never do any wrong, but like I feel like it would be wrong in this situation to have Ricky lose. They've been building him up like all year, bro.
Oh yeah.
And he already like didn't win that feud with MJF. So I just feel like if you want to keep this momentum going, he needs to like beat a veteran and just beat him clean. Not like Chris Jericho lose anything at this point. Like they're banned from ringside, but I'm pretty sure they're going to like have someone come in camouflaged or whatever with a mask on and probably like set it up into a way where Chris Jericho doesn't look weak regardless. He just looks like a chicken shit heel. So yeah, Team Ricky. What about you?
I'm gonna go with Ricky Starks as well. I think that, I mean, he already beat Jericho, and it's interesting because this whole dynamic of this feud has shifted from, like in a sense, like Chris Jericho needs a win over Ricky, but Ricky is the one that's asking for the match. And I think that that's just such a interesting dynamic to have because usually it's the other way around. Usually the heel, when he gets beat, he's hurt. He chases down the babyface to demand the match, but it's like Chris Jericho is too prideful to ask for the match, but he still wants the match. But he also doesn't want to lose. And I think that that dynamic is really, really cool. But Ricky Starks is a bona fide superstar. And I think that even his match with MJF kind of reinforced that. And I think that this is going to be a star-making performance once again. But I think that Ricky Starks is going to come out on top. I also believe that there's going to be some type of Daniel Garcia, Sammy Guevara miscommunication that's going to lead to Chris Jericho losing, so that Chris Jericho doesn't look weak in a way. But we'll see. We'll see about that. But moving on, we have the AEW World Trios Championship match between the Elite and the House of Black. Who do you have?
For some reason, I want to go with the Elite. Normally, I don't ever choose the Elite. I kind of want to go with the Elite. I think they still won me over with that Babyface song that I keep singing every time they come out.
Yeah.
It worked. It fucking worked.
It does.
Because you know what? It reminds me
that
of
song
South
is so
Park.
catchy. I love that damn song.
It is. It reminds me of the South Park Guitar Hero episode. That's why. And I'm a huge South Park fan.
It's worse because I know what episode you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I just imagine Randy with his freaking hairy body and his underwear playing at 2 a.m. and he's just fucking up all the notes. Like in the song. That's why I love it. So I'm just gonna go with the Elite.
I'm gonna go with the House of Black. Whew, all right, let me gather myself. I'm gonna go with the House of Black. I think they have been reintroducing the House of Black to AEW, making them more lethal, making them more dangerous, giving them a mission and a goal by attaching themselves to the World Trios Championship picture. And I think that if they lose, it all goes in vain. I don't believe that the Elite need to win this match. I think that um, they've already done so much based off of that best of 7 series that they did with a Death Triangle, which and match 7, game 7, whatever you want to call it, in LA was phenomenal. As somebody who was there, and because of that, I don't think they really need to win this match. So I'm gonna go with House of Black. I think House of Black is gonna take it. Now, moving on to the AEW Women's World Championship match between Jamie Hayter, Saraya, and Ruby Soho. Who do you have?
Let me look at this one more time. Jamie Hayter versus Saraya. Okay, definitely not Saraya because she pisses me off every week. She just got into it with my mutuals that dragged her to filth. Um, she just every single week she just it's just funny because she's like a veteran and it's just like everyone asking her to come back for all these years and it's just week by week she just kind of just been falling lower and lower and lower on the totem pole and this is because she
Mm-hmm.
just won't stop talking.
Right.
But in terms of the match and the booking, uh I wouldn't be mad if it went to Jamie or Ruby.
Mm.
I would love it for Ruby just because she needs something because she's quickly becoming irrelevant to me and I feel like this feud did nothing for anyone at
Mm.
all. Like no one's really getting like a very good rub out of it.
Mm.
But I'm expecting a good match nonetheless. I think that Jamie's probably going to retain just based off these two choices not being, you know, like I don't know. I feel like they're trying too hard with Soraya and it's not her time yet. And then I feel like with Ruby, she's just there just to have someone there.
Mm-hmm.
She's not really taken to be seriously. It would throw me off if she won. To be honest,
Mm.
I wouldn't mind it, but I don't think anyone here is ready to dethrone Jamie. That's just my take. What do you think?
I agree. I think Jamie Hayter's going to retain, even though I want Ruby to win something. I firmly believe that like Jamie is red hot. Jamie is white hot right now, and I believe that she's going to win. I also believe she's going to pin Saraya. Because I think that that's going to just
Ooh.
do like because it's a triple threat. It's easy for things to get lost in the smoke, right? Oh, you won, but you didn't pin me. And it's like, all right, well, if Jamie pins Saraya, it's kind of like that's the biggest one in the match who's the non-champion. Also, it gives a little bit of room for a potential Jamie Ruby match down the line because Ruby didn't get pinned. And I feel like that's what it can possibly lead to. But I think Jamie Hayter is gonna retain. And she's white hot.
I have
She's
a
the
question.
what's up?
Because you bring up that logic a lot when it comes to triple threats, but like, when's the last time they actually like worked with that? Like that whole
Mm,
that third person never got pinned, so I have a chance.
when was the when was the last multi-man match that we did a prediction for?
I'm trying to think.
Because I feel like you know what it
I'm
is.
trying to think.
It's like the common like for as long as I've watched wrestling, WWE, whatever. That's always been the thing. It's like you didn't pin me, so like we need this one on type of situation. It's always like it's a tale as old as time. Like when it comes to these multi-person matches, unless it's like a multi-person elimination match where you have to like pin somebody and then you move on to the next thing. It's like a very, very constant pattern.
I know it's common in the past, just that I don't see it like nowadays. I feel like they always throw in the third person just to have a third person,
Very
and no
true.
one like brings that back. So like I understand like you're going with the old school logic, is that like do they like when's the last time they actually done it? I guess is what I'm saying because you know I haven't seen it
That makes
at
sense.
least
I don't
recently.
know. I don't know the last time that they've done it, but I don't know just because of habit, but I've always just kind of leaned
They
on
should bring
that.
it back though because I love that logic.
Right. It
What?
actually
Sorry.
worked. Like it actually worked, but Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, that's when it happened the last time. Samoa Joe, Warlow, Powerhouse Hobbs for the TMT Championship. Because remember,
There you go.
I don't think Powerhouse got pinned. It was Warlow that got pinned. And Powerhouse was
Mm-hmm.
like, we have unfinished business. And he just won the
Mm-hmm.
Face of the Revolution ladder match. So my logic worked. I win.
You got it, bro. You got it. That's funny.
moving moving
That's
on to
really
the
funny.
next match. Um, we got the Texas Death Match between John Moxley and Hangman Adam Page. I'm actually very, very much looking forward to this match. I feel like this is going to be so bloody and so gruesome. One of John's organs is going to come out of his body at this point. But I want to know, who do you have in this match?
John is always bleeding.
John is
Like,
always bleeding.
like I'm just I don't even know. I'll be honest, I've always been a bigger Moxley fan than a Hangman fan. Not that I don't
Mm-hmm.
like Hangman, I do appreciate all his work. But I mean, I'm a sucker for Moxley, man. Even if he does have to bleed to have these these matches that he be having, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be reckless. I mean, that's what I love most about him. He's just reckless.
Yeah.
Like he's such a manly man. Like he just comes off like he's just about that life off camera and on camera, and that's what I love about him. It kind of gives me like a Stone Cold vibe. But like you just know he's that guy off camera. You just know he lives his life. So yeah, totally. I'm gonna go with Mox. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Moxley as well. Actually, no. I'm going to go with Hangman Adam Page.
Why?
Because this would be a way for him to get a win. I feel like the reason why this match is happening is because their last match, which I believe was in Dayton, it was either in Dayton or it was in LA. And it was like a very, very cheap win by Moxley. But like Moxley has 2 wins over Hangman, Hangman has 1 win over Mox, right? So Hangman has, I think Moxley has like 2 pinfalls or a pinfall and a submission type of situation. Or actually, no, this is the tiebreaker. Because remember that when they had a match for the title, Moxley knocked Hangman out. So I forgot about that.
Mm,
So this is like the tiebreaker. I feel like the only way that you can beat Moxley and Moxley still be strong is if you didn't pin him. So the Texas Death Match is essentially a last man standing match. So it's like you leave John Moxley laying down for a count of 10. You figure that's the way that he's going to lose, is just him laying in a pool of his own blood and decapacitated to the point where he just can't get up. That just sounds like a Moxley way to lose, but it's like you're not going to consider Moxley weak. You're just going to be like, well, that's John Moxley. And on top of that, it's a good premise and a
he
good
just died.
foundation. Huh?
Yeah. No, it's just like he died. Like
Yeah,
this man
like
literally
that.
went out dying. You know.
But
Yeah.
like Moxley, like, and we're already seeing a shift in his character change, way more heelish. The Blackpool Combat Club is
Yeah.
becoming way more heelish. So
Yeah.
I feel like Heyman's gonna win this one. But we're moving
That's fair.
on to the AEW Tag Team Championship match. Talk about a multi-person match. We got the Guns versus the Acclaimed versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal versus Danhausen and Orange Cassidy. Who do you have?
It better not be Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. It's gonna piss me off. That's so gonna piss me off. I feel like they've been trying really hard to push the Guns for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason. I don't particularly care for them at all. Um, I would love to see the Acclaim just because I love the Acclaim and I feel like they should never have like lost their belts at all. Like
Right.
they're so entertaining. Like there's nothing wrong with this situation. They should just have kept it going until, in my personal opinion, they brought up another tag team that was worthy enough. Um, but I also can't be mad at Orange Cassidy and Dan Hostin just because like there's such a weird mixture that goes so well. It's like
Yes.
peanut butter and jelly with them. So to be honest, if it's not the Acclaim, then I'm fine with Dan Hostin and Orange Cassidy. But Orange Cassidy has been in a lot of like one v one feuds, so
Yeah.
I doubt they're going to give it to them just
Yeah.
because they keep putting. I feel like they that Tony like loves Orange Cassidy so much that he just likes to see him in one v one feuds. But I like the dynamic with him being with Dan Hostin because his gimmick has been like tiring me. You know, I feel like we all got bored of it after year 1.5
For Orange
with the
Cassidy?
whole him doing slop stuff. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like his gimmick is just it's stale, but like he's such a good wrestler that we're annoyed until we see him actually wrestle. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like he could benefit from having like a title run with Dan Hostin because then he has more depth to his character that he could probably play around with than just being this chill back guy that turns it on when he wants to turn it on. Because it's just like, what else do you have here with your character? There was one time they made him smart.
I remember that.
I won't forget that time with Jericho.
During the
They
debate?
pulled like a
Yeah.
Maria Kanellis moment. Yeah, like
I
remember when
remember
Maria
that.
Kanellis was like was
Mad intellectual
behind
out of
in
nowhere.
court.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Eric Bischoff, Kurt. Yeah,
Yeah, they did that same concept with Orange Cassidy with Chris Jericho, and it was like the greatest thing. Or was it MJF? Was it MJF or Chris Jericho? Which
Chris
one was
Jericho.
it?
Chris Jericho.
It was great.
It
It
was
was such
Jericho. I
good
remember it was
shit. But
Jericho. Yeah.
yeah, he thought he had it in the bag because Orange Cassidy's just fucking lazy. I would love that. Honestly, I would love if they just put more energy into him because he's actually like really good. It's just that like he's not like there's not much you could do with that character. There's like a glass ceiling with it. So I kind of want it now. The more I keep talking, Danhausen and Orange Cassidy.
I don't think
Yeah.
that they would do that just because it would steer away from the fact that Orange Cassidy is the All Atlantic champion, and I think that they want to keep his feuds going as All Atlantic champion because he's been having good matches and good stories and good feuds. But I do think that they're going to
Yeah.
put up a heck of a fight. Um, One of the things that I
Yeah.
think is very, very interesting in this is Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn is someone who has ties to almost everybody in this match. Obviously, the Guns being his sons, the Acclaim being his adopted
Yeah.
sons. Him and Jeff Jarrett have a lot of history. I think
Mhm.
Billy Gunn was at a point was like his valet back in WWE. Um, so he has ties with like a lot of factions in this scenario, which I think is really, really cool. I think the Guns are going to retain. I think that yes, it's a multi-man match, so there is a great way of you being able to like a great risk of you losing your titles, but I feel like there's so much chaos that it's easy to take advantage of it. So, off of that logic, I think that the Guns are going to retain, and maybe I think we can see a Billy Gunn heel turn. I think that that would be very, very interesting. Um,
Ooh, I like
but
it.
moving on to the next match, the AEW World Championship Iron Man match between MJF and Bryan Danielson. Who do you have?
My heart wants to say Daniel Bryan because I'm tired of waiting for his time. But then part of me is just like, well, Daniel Bryan, I feel like is at a point where he just likes to give because that's just what this humble vegan is, a giver. You know what I mean? Um, and I feel like he's almost fine with being the person that just makes everyone else look better because it's just understood that Daniel Bryan is and will forever be that guy. Like we just
Mm-hmm.
respect him. Like no matter he could really do no wrong on and off camera. He is like a father figure to this business.
Absolutely.
But I just feel like that championship would be so much more valuable on Daniel. And I feel like this feud was like so white hot and juicy. I feel like MJF is more interesting when he's chasing than when he
Mm-hmm.
has the belt. And it'd be interesting if Daniel Bryan won. I'm not sure I would say via submission because I don't think like having a champion be dethroned through submission makes them look good. I feel like it does make them look weak. But if we could find another way where he wins and it just drives MJF crazy and he thinks that it was a fluke and he could just chase after Daniel, we could have this feud keep going. I would love that. I think they're doing such good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Such good shit. What I love about Daniel Bryan the most is that he doesn't really have to swear very much to drag you to film. Like he did, he goes
That's
for
a
the
fact.
jugular in the most polite, cleanest, and sincere
In the
way.
most fatherly
So
way.
yes, like I said, he's such a father figure to this business, and I love it. So I just feel like it would be, for in my personal opinion, if you want to create more character development and make this title run more interesting, yeah, like give it to Daniel and let this keep going into what's the next pay per view after this? Is it Double or Nothing?
I'm not sure.
No.
I think it is. I think it is because I think that's in May. So I think it is.
Yeah,
So
unless they do something with the cruise ship. I don't know how any of that goes, y'all.
right.
But I feel like that'd be dope if they just kept it going because these two are great mouthpieces for each other. You have like such a loving baby face that is Daniel Bryan, who is so loving is that in that it automatically makes MJF the heel because no one's gonna boo Daniel ever. No
Mm-hmm.
matter how much
Ever.
we like and appreciate MJF, no one's going to boo him, which makes him look more of a more convincing heel. But like I said, he's just more interesting when he's chasing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just feel like at the same time too, while I understand Daniel loves putting other people over, if he just keeps doing that, it just makes him just look. I don't know. I'm not saying it's gonna lower his value because his value will never be lowered, but it's just like you don't want to look at Daniel Bryan and always expect that he's going to lose. And I feel like that's what a lot of people looking down at this card are thinking. It's like, oh yeah, like Daniel's always losing. You know,
Right.
he's always putting someone else over. So he's always helping out. So give it to Daniel and have MJF chase his belt back if he wants it. But I feel like it's still Daniel's time. I say this every time, but this is Daniel's time. What do you think?
I think the ending is going to piss off a lot of people. I think they're going to end in a draw. Because here's my
Why?
logic. I feel like anytime MJF is in a match as a heel, his objective is how can I draw the most heat? And I feel like
I didn't think about that.
what would draw the most heat is a draw because neither one of them really beat each other more than the other person beat them. But because it's a
True.
champion's advantage, it's like MJF just wants to remember his whole spiel is this championship means the world to me. I'll do anything to keep it. So even if it means they're tied up at 2-2 and it's a minute left and he runs around the ring so that he can retain his belt, he's going to do that because he doesn't want to get in the ring with the best professional wrestler in the world and risk getting pinned or submitted when if he just stays at 2-2 or 1-1 or 3-3, he's going to walk out with that belt either way. And I think that him not going for the extra pinfall, him not going for the extra submission also implicitly communicates, hey, yo, I'm not trying to give y'all the best match. I'm just trying to walk out of here with my belt, bro. And I think that
Yeah.
that's going to be the thing that makes the most sense. And I think that the match is going to end in a draw and that MGF is going to be walking out as champion.
That is kind of brilliant. I like that booking.
I be thinking.
Because it's still like a no harm, no foul. Now
Right.
he's always thinking, yo. He like when I be thinking like I'm a step ahead of Jordan, he be like 5 steps ahead of me. Like
I'll be over
this
here.
shit almost getting me mad sometimes.
I be miles ahead.
Word. He's down the hallway, made a left. I'm still back here at the elevator.
I'm back at the couch with my girl. But that concludes our show.